All right, welcome back to Off the Tap. This week is episode 55, and we're doing Real Ale Brewing Company's Crispy Business.
Woo woo.
Oh, yeah. As you can imagine, it is exactly what you think it is.
I don't know. It doesn't really give me whole vibe. Like, honestly, I know the can, I get it, but like, it doesn't give me like, oh, jump off the map, unless you look at the can. Yeah,
What do you mean jump off the map?
like it doesn't like tell me straight up. Crispy business doesn't immediately say, oh, it's a risky business play. It doesn't give me that.
Oh, no, but with the can, yes, it does.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
But you
yeah.
have to have it in context.
Yeah,
Saying it
100%.
out loud doesn't necessarily mean everything.
Well, I mean, I can see that for sure. But the can involved definitely, it's exactly what you think it is. The branding and everything about the can.
Yeah, it's like a like catch image of Tron essentially on a can.
Yeah, what do they call it, like Vice or something like that. That like style of art and whatnot. I don't know if it's Vice, but there's something like that.
Like Vice City? That's what it reminds me of, obviously.
Yeah, kinda. I think
Grand
actually,
Theft
yeah, Vice
Yeah,
City
Grand Theft
got
Auto Vice City?
the
Yeah, like
style from
1980s? Yeah.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So this is a lager coming in at 4.5%.
Confirmed on the can,
All
yes.
right, and 26 IBUs.
Ooh, so it's gonna have a little more of a bite than we've had in the past for some of the lighter lagers. Super
Yeah.
clear, a little bit of haziness, but super clear for something that's coming in at 25 IBUs.
Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty good though. The head was pretty large, uh,
Very large.
off the rip.
Dude, hey, straight up. Wow.
Oh
Wow. Is all
wow,
I
yeah. My
Dude,
goodness.
same thing.
Wow.
So 4.5% as a lager. I know it's craft style, but Lord, it's got some bitterness to it that makes it more of a beer. I know normally we complain about that, but like, damn.
No, yeah, this is good. Good.
And it packs like a like in a way that like, oh, okay, if look, let's back up a little bit. If you're not seeking out something that's full flavored with like way more of a hit, then no, back away. But if you like here's what I would say. I would approach this as like a very like, oh, crispy business, great fun, 4.5. It's gonna be bad. No, this fucking packs a flavor.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm
Yeah, it
saying?
does.
Like it's got a
Slaps you in the
lot more
face.
100%. Um,
It's like an
but
uppercut
I
of
love that.
hops.
Yes,
Maybe not
very.
hops, but
Well, it's got some bitterness to it that hops are going to prevail with. So yeah, I'll give you that. It's not
no.
something that you're going to like pick. Okay, we've talked about this a lot. Like how often we'll be like, oh, this is the gateway craft, or this is the gateway um, beer that you should like venture into and then get into the rest of their stuff. No, like you're going to look at this one and go, oh, that's probably just innocent enough. No, this has a full craft, full hop flavor, but in a light lager at 4.5.
You said gateway, and it immediately made me think that it's a gateway to IPAs. Honestly, it's an IP gateway.
It is that's probably, look, I don't know if that's written on the can, but they should take advantage of that.
And I'm just saying it probably is written on the can because that's usually how these episodes go. Is we say something and then we research it and then we find out that it's already been
I think we're just
established.
slight. I think we're just slightly better at marketing, but crispy business, the gateway to IPAs, the
Mm.
porthole because of the whole branding on the can, the porthole to IPAs.
Porthole. What do you mean, like a computer port?
Yeah, like
Like
you
a
you drive
USB
into
port?
something. Yeah, like you drive into something and it like manifests you somewhere else, like Portal. Remember that online game?
Yeah, I remember Portal.
Yeah, like that, but
You're
1980s
saying because it
version.
looks like Tron.
Yes.
I got you. Okay. Yeah. Well,
Okay, so I'll just be
uh,
quiet.
I'll
That's
I'll
fine.
I'll let you get into that. Uh,
Listen,
no,
so if
well,
you're
it's very unfortunate that last week we spent 30 minutes talking about Blockbuster because that would have been very fitting for this week. But like we said last week, we don't ever plan these things very well. We just kind of roll with it and see what happens.
So, in regards to the branding on the can, absolutely, I would agree. But in regards to the taste, this is like very fulfilling. There's way more taste in this than I would have equated to Blockbuster. Like, if Blockbuster were a beer, this is not it.
Mm.
Blockbuster would be like just bottom of the barrel. This is way more flavorful than that. You see what I'm
Is
saying?
this more like Hastings or what?
I don't know if I'd go that far. I mean, Hastings probably has some hoppiness to it. But anyways, yes, I would say that eh, this packs more of a conversational punch than anything movie theater related to its marketing content.
Yeah, and we talked a little bit about because it's like I said, Real Ale Brewing Company out of Blanco, Texas,
Yep.
and I've had a couple of their things before. I can't remember which ones though, quite honestly. But you were telling me that they have one that's really famous, and I do remember having this, the Fireman's Four Blonde Ale.
Correct. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, Fireman's Four is basically the Shiner of the Hill Country. I know Shiner's big out there. I know Shiner's prevalent everywhere in the state. We've talked at length about it, but Fireman number four really is the only thing that runs close to Shiner in the Hill Country and in that like central part of Texas. That's the only one that stands really to battle the heritage of Texas outside of Shiner.
That see, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that it was like that big of a deal,
Yeah.
because obviously everybody here in Texas knows Shiner Bock. Whether you drink it or not, what Shiner's doing. And I think I've said this before on the show, but I'll never say it enough that Shiner Bock, their regular, is one of my favorite beers on the market. And I think, don't they have a strawberry as well?
Yes, they do. Are you talking about Shiner, like Stetzel?
Yeah,
Yeah, they
Spetzel.
whatever Spetzel, Stetzel. My German's weak.
Oh yeah,
Strong
okay.
yours, stronger than yours as of late.
Yeah.
But yes, so they do have a strawberry. Um, I don't know if I so a lot of the seasonal stuff and a lot of the variations that Shiner does or Spetzel does, not a big fan of. But they do have a strawberry, yes.
Yeah, okay, I thought so. So the other real ale brewing that I've had is the Axis IPA, and I remember that being pretty good as well. I got
Mm, not sure I've had that one.
well, it's a very simple can, very nice. I was gonna talk about that too. Is just like I love the way they do all their cans, or at least most of them, with like the matte finish. Big fan of that. I like a nice flat, not glossy look, and
Matt.
it's kind of what
Oh,
these
okay.
are.
Yeah,
These
like
crispy hazelnuts.
a flat comic book type approach. The Hill
Yeah.
Country Bach. I wonder if that would be interesting. We should probably include that
Mm.
eventually. They got a Kolsch as well, but the Hill Country Bach. I wonder how that competes in the grand scheme of things, considering the Blonde Ale, which is the Fireman's number four, is competing in the Hill Country.
Yeah. We definitely need to find them. I don't know where else we could find different things. It's hard to find some of this stuff in the stores around us. We just got to grab what we can find sometimes.
Oh, the stuff from Blanco should be fairly easy to grasp. Even if it is like well, for me, like a 45-minute, maybe an hour drive west, we can get these pretty readily available. Um,
Well, that's good.
but they have pretty good distribution outside of the local city there, considering that it's not owned. I believe this is truly still independent. They're not owned by a massive entity that's helping them distribute. So,
Yeah. I also always like to try to point out at least that their website's very nice. It's a very clean website. Some breweries don't have the best websites, but This one's really really clean, and
Is
I
it
like that
because
all of their beers are pictured nicely.
of ease of use? Like, what is it?
Uh, just the overall look, the
Okay.
cleanliness of the pages, how everything works and functions. It's just nice. I like this
Listen, I'm
a
all
lot.
into marketing, but I don't quite know what sets this one aside from the other 5, 10, 15 that I've looked at.
Ease of
So
use is probably all is definitely on that reasoning as well.
I'll give you that.
Easy to find stuff, you know.
Yeah, immediately I went to it, not gonna lie, and I clicked on like I don't know. It wasn't a I don't know tab, but I was like, I don't know, and I clicked on like beers, and it was like, ah, and then I was like, oh, all the facts that I need.
All of our
Not not
beers.
not not the details, like it didn't give me like the alcohol content, it didn't give me like what type of beer it was, but immediately it gave me this is what I have available, and that's why I struck on the Fireman's number 4 and knowing what it was and so on and so forth.
Right, yeah. Very easy. You just click on the beer to figure out the percentage, by the way. But you know, that's
Well,
what you find out
hindsight's
later
2020.
on.
Because I've given into the fact that most of the websites we approach and or look at are shit. I didn't even assume that I could click on the beer and it would fucking give me facts.
Yeah. See exactly. Um,
Normally I click on it and I get a damn error.
yeah, this web page doesn't exist.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
404, whatever the 404 error, and I'm like, ah, shit. So I back it up, and it's like, now you have a virus, and I'm like, sorry. And then it's like, now your TVs don't work. And I'm like, damn it, your child's tablet is fucked. I'm like, shit, I just wanted to find out what the IBUs were.
and the worst part is that I'm getting emails from like 5 companies that I
I,
didn't sign up for anything for.
bro, that's the worst. It's
It
like, hey,
really
burn, scratch my devices, destroy my phone, reach out to everyone I've ever connected with via my number and solicit them. That's fine.
yeah.
Um, but I don't want spam. Burn my house down. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. That's fine. I'll give in to
Yeah.
that. But I don't want spam when it's all said and done, and
I
that's the
don't.
problem.
Spam is by far the thing that frustrates me the most every day because and I don't even know how this happened. I don't know if somebody is logged into my Facebook account and signing up for stuff or something. I don't know, but I'm getting like 13 spam emails per day
All right,
minimum.
so real quick, do you ever play this game? Where did I fall victim? I play this all the time. I'm like, who the fuck, who did I connect with that, or what did I reach out to, or what did I respond to? Like, I ask myself that question all the time. I'm like, where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
Like, where is it exactly that I went down the rabbit hole that signed me up for shit that I don't care about? What put me on that list? What did I do? Who did I talk to?
Yeah.
You know,
I do know that one of the times now I'm one of the lazy people that has Google autofill my stuff for me whenever I log into accounts and whatnot.
like like
You're
the
not
rest of the world.
Yeah, but you're not supposed to do that. Like that everybody tells you it's not a good idea. Um
Real quickly though, exception rather than the rule of people that fucking are filling in their stuff. Okay, there's very few people that are still filling in their own stuff. Everyone else using self-populate, but I digress. Continue your story.
I agree. It's so much easier. But anyways, there was like a Google breach or something and like 13 of my accounts that I had saved on Google got not like hacked, but they said that it could be compromised, right? And ever since then I've been receiving a lot of emails from companies that I did not ever associate with. But I changed all the passwords and stuff and it got better for like 2 months and then out of nowhere in February this year it just started getting horrible again.
Here's the thing with spam. Like, the problem is I'm never interested in any of them, you know?
Mm-mm.
Like, if one of them enticed me, I'd be like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. Keep me
Yeah.
hooked in, oh, I can do this. But I'm never intrigued by any of them. There's not a single reach out that is relevant to me. That's the problem. So, as a group, as a collective, if you're gonna like farm people's information from an entity and then go out and like attack them. You need to have one thing that they really give a shit about. Like that's
Yeah.
what you need. You know
Or
what I mean?
here's the main thing for me, right? Is I won't even look at an email if the title on the email is spelled incorrectly somehow, right? Like, and
Ye-
not necessarily spelling, but like if there's a random period in the subject line that shouldn't be there, or like dashes. You know what I mean? Like where a computer is obviously translating this somehow and translating it incorrectly.
Yeah, or sometimes I'll get an email where like somebody took the time, somebody, I'm air quoting that. It's
Hmm.
definitely a computer, took the time to change the font. And I'm like, what is that? Times New Roman? Ah, that's fake, right?
Right.
It needs to be generic email title, generic body. If you're changing the font, you're changing like bolding things and underlining things. That's not how the world works. That's not how that works.
The ones that have been annoying me the most is like, because usually, if it's spam, as annoying as it is, you can go in and unsubscribe from the emails, right? Which works about 50% of the time. Let's be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
Uh, but I was getting some that were obviously from the same centralized space, person, entity, whatever you want to call it, but
Yeah.
it was never being sent from an email address. It was just being sent through like a name or like a company name or something, and it would change every time. So I would go in and block that user, and then it would send me the same email from a different user every time, but there was no email specifically that I could block for it. It was just a literal name.
I see. I see. That's a challenge that outweighs the struggles of the system.
At that point, I just gave up, and I was like, you know what? My entire life now, I'm gonna have to mark these as red. That's that's what I
I'm
have
gonna
to
have to,
do.
we all want to return them. We all want to unsubscribe, but sometimes it's just as Americans, our due diligence to just mark it as red,
Listen,
let it pass
look,
on, mark it as red.
let's be real. They're just trying to make some money, bro. They're just doing their job, whether it be legal or illegal. We won't get into that, but
Hmm.
you know,
I would like to like to see the statistics on the ones that are legal because that's the underdog right there. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
that's
Like
the ones
that's
you're
the
kind of
cat.
rooting for. Those are the ones that
Yeah,
need to take your advice about, you know, making it intriguing.
100%.
Yeah.
But the problem is they're outnumbered. So
Hmm.
the one that actually connects, that is a valid human being that's trying to do whatever he does sales wise, kudos. But man, do you have a hell of a challenge set in front of you.
Big time. Oh man, the burps are here already.
Are they? I haven't
They're
had
here for
one
me.
set in, but I know they're on the cusp.
Oh no, they pretty much set in about 3 sips in for me, and they have
Really?
not they have not seceded. They have not left.
So I'm sitting on a bomb right now then. They're brewing within me. I'm gonna
Dude,
blow.
oh my god, beer just came out of my nose.
What happened? It wasn't even that funny. I don't know what sent that off the top. Are
Oh
you
my
trying to
god.
relive it? You want to
No,
smell it? You want to taste it through the nostrils?
I'm trying to get it to come back out of my nasal cavity. If that's what
Yeah.
I think that's what that's called.
You
I don't know.
Hey, real quick, I was gonna go nose holes, but that's real redneck. Nasal cavity is probably a lot more
My
acceptable.
my nose holes.
I was just trying to get that fluid back out my nose holes. You mean nostrils? Anyways, but yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, like we said, obviously this beer is being marketed with the same design as Risky Business, that whole era and
Yeah.
whatnot. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about, first of all, how great that movie is. Right? I rewatched it like maybe in January or December. Man, just
Yeah.
just a classic flick, dude. It's the American dream for every teenager in America.
I'm glad you said that because it gives hope to every teenager that's struggling. I don't want to say that doesn't belong. There's a bunch of other flicks that help with that, but to every teenager that thinks they're doing the wrong thing or thinks they'll never equate to anything, this is the flagship film. I'm not saying follow the advice
And yeah,
follow
maybe
the advice of the film, but
don't do what they're doing necessarily, but you know, maybe do a little bit of what they're doing.
and maybe even let me like backtrack, like for those that are like seem dejected or don't know where they belong or whatever, like it's still relatable because even if you don't have quite that experience, because it's the extreme, right?
Yeah.
um there's still a relatable circumstance to your parents, to the world, to society that you failed to deliver upon. Okay.
Hmm.
There's that still relatability to that person. And also, maybe there's those that look from the outside and they're like, I would never want to fucking do that. I never want to be that extreme. I never want to do that. That's fine. Um, but it's a good flick in regards to that. Plus, you're excited along the way because we've all been like, for most of us, we've all experienced something like that in one regard or another. And there's like that risk,
Hmm.
reward, extreme failure, extreme lack of success, risk, reward. It's all built in via the whole experience.
And ultimately losing it all,
Yes.
you
Like,
know, but
yeah, like you got nothing, you double down, you gamble, whatever, you lose it all. You get it all back. You get it all back. You're on top of the world, you're gambling again, and then you lose it all. Right?
hmm, yeah, it's the definition of gambling for sure. Like you saying it like that, you're because I mean that's what happens when you gamble, right? Take all that money, throw it in, you win, you're like, hell yeah. Double down and it's gone immediately.
Yeah. But you are nothing without the double, like at that point, you're nothing without the double down. You know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
if you're an avid, not an avid, but if you're a valid, let's put it that way, a valid gambler, you got to have something to risk. Like nobody's coming in with like, oh, you got $50. Oh, great gambler. Nobody cares about that. But if you have everything to lose, that makes you a valid gambler, and that's the story of risky business.
Hmm.
Everything he had was to lose, even though it really wasn't his, which makes it even riskier, I guess. But at every moment, everything he had was to lose.
Yeah, because what didn't that end, doesn't it end with him like worrying about this like glass like sculpture that his mom had or something that like was cracked or something like that?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. It's been a hot minute. All I remember is I can Google it, but it's been a hot minute. Apparently, if I remember correctly, the gist was this. He screwed something up, so he solicited the help of a bunch of strippers slash hookers
No, no,
to.
no. So what happens is he's home alone.
Oh, what had happened
See
was.
what had happened was no. So his parents go out of town and he's home alone, and his buddy orders him a stripper to his
Okay.
house because he's never
Okay.
been laid or whatever, right? So his
Yeah,
buddy
that's fine.
orders him a stripper and she shows up and I don't remember I think they fool around, I don't remember or whatever, but she winds up like not leaving or something because her pimp is an a-hole or something, or she leaves and he like she took something and he goes and finds her or something like that. I think that's what she took the glass thing that I'm talking about. And so
Okay.
he goes to
Okay.
find her and all this stuff, sees the pimp treating her bad, asks, tells tells her that he can help or something. I don't know the whole premise. It's like it's still been a few months since I've seen it, but yeah. So he doesn't necessarily enlist her help. She's just like, I can make you money. And so then he basically starts being the pimp for all these girls.
I'm glad that you explained it so confusingly. So essentially, Tom Cruise at first, let's be honest, because it's Tom Cruise. He has her come to him, and then in true Tom Cruise fashion, I'm not knocking on him, but I'm kind of a little bit. He's like, no, 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 I can't accept females I will become the pimp. That's
What do you mean?
basically
I
how it
can't
works out.
accept females. What do you mean?
Yeah, he's like, oh, I can't accept um, paid sex because I'm Tom Cruise. I'm too
Oh,
good for that.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so I shall manipulate it to where I now become the pimp.
I don't
That's
it
basically
in is
what you want to say, but go ahead.
I mean like I think at least his character. I mean him in real life. I can't speak to, but his character I don't think ever really wants to do it. I think something happens and he like has to get money, and so he's like forced into doing it, and he does, and they make a crap ton of money, and then his dad's vehicle goes into the water and he has to pay to get it cleaned. He loses all the money that he got. He like needs money for
I think
school or something, I think, right?
no, I think that's the whole reason they're gathering the money. We should have done more research. I think that's the whole reason they need the money is because he fucked up his dad's Porsche and he has to fix it. Porsche.
Partial. That's like
There
yeah.
is no substitute.
Yeah, right. I know, but I'm saying toward like the big like party they have. Yeah, that's why they do the big party so that he can pay for the car to be fixed. But they were doing that stuff before, I'm pretty sure.
I
I
don't
could be wrong.
remember.
I could be
I need to
wrong,
go
but
back. I need to go back. All I'm saying is the
that's
underwear
your homework.
scene. That's everyone's
Right.
homework. Give us
The
the cliff notes.
the the t-shirt, underwear, slide da na 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 na.
Iconic. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. Iconic.
Yeah,
Um,
everybody does it. Even people do that scene without even realizing what that scene is from. Like because I personally did that. Like not necessarily my underwear, but we'd all we slid out or whatever, holding the microphone to that song and whatnot. And I had never seen Risky Business when I did that. We just knew
bro,
about it.
I'm real anxious to understand what you mean by that. Like, what do you mean? You were guilty of that? What
Like
do you mean?
sliding out like that, bro. Like sliding out into the living room like that.
Well,
Not
I
at
mean,
our house, but somewhere
everybody
else.
slide. Well, everybody's even in our house. Everybody slides out, but we're like, hey, I'm gonna go find some strippers, and I'm gonna
No,
just
I'm talking about just
salvage their
that
skills
scene, bro.
to pay for my dad's sport.
No,
Where are
no,
you at on that?
not the whole movie, bro. Just that
Oh,
scene.
okay.
I was just recreating the scene. As I said, everybody's done that, but not everyone that has recreated that scene knows that it's from Risky Business.
No, but it's very iconic because there's a lot of like movies that play into that too, like that
Mm-hmm.
do that as an iconic scene. I know that we wore it to a party, Katie and I, at some point, like me and Whitey Tighties with a white shirt show up, and
Is
she
that
had something else on.
is that socially acceptable for you to
Well,
just
for the
show up in
party,
whitey tighties?
I mean, for no, it was very uncomfortable, but it was for the purpose of the party, right? So, you just balls in hand, just fucking
Also,
cock out. You're just
yeah,
having a drink.
can
They're
I,
like, "Hey, I can see your package." You're like, "Yeah, but I'm trying
but
to
I'm Tom
support the
Cruise.
whole cause." Yeah,
You know,
I'm just supporting the cause. Do
I
you want me to
just
show up costume wise? I'll go home.
all right, yeah, I'm just trying to have fun, dude.
Yeah.
Can I just say I'm glad as a society that and I know some people still wear them, but for the most part, most of us have moved on from the whitey tidies to briefs or boxers
Dude, they're
because
not even. Listen, they're not even functional. I don't know why that was a
no,
thing.
dude, they're so itchy, bro. Why?
They
And
don't
why do
help you.
they just strangle my thighs? Like what are we doing?
Was there a situation in the late, I don't know, I don't know when they came around, but like, was there a situation in the 70s and 80s when they were like, you might die because temperatures get extreme? Because that's the only thing that drives people to wear whitey tighties. Otherwise,
What I can't
it's
do
the
4
opposite.
more inches of cloth?
I
You know?
mean, I mean, yes, but I'm just saying, like, there's not an argument to be made about anything. I can't think of one. Okay. All right, let me back up. I'm sorry, I'm getting excited here. Not in a weird way, but I'm getting excited. Like, you can make a, I don't believe in boxers. Okay, that's a whole separate thing, but I
Yeah,
don't
I don't
believe in
either.
boxers. But there still are, compared to underwear, compared to Whitey Tighties, there's an argument to be made. However, I would say there's a lot of arguments to be made about every other form of undergarment outside of Whitey Tighties.
Even
See
long
what I'm
johns,
saying?
bro. I'd rather wear long johns, quite
Yeah,
honestly.
fuck it.
I'd rather sweat out of my anus.
I'll wrap everything up and die out here and have the inner thigh chafe and the uncomfortable ability.
Dude, the chafing is the worst part. It's the worst part of it all. Like well, first of all, and why did we think it was just socially
Bro,
acceptable to strip down in front of a woman with whitey tighties on, bro? Like
I don't know.
never.
So it soaks up nothing, no more than any other form. Your inner thighs chafe. You're not any.
To the point of rawness.
Oh, just fucking. You might as well be a raw material for boots. But anyway, so
Yeah.
that plus like it's not socially any better. Like I don't know what was going on with Whitey Tidies. What I would love to know the sales pitch of like, hey, the whole everything's changing.
Dude.
We're going from long johns to Whitey Tidies, and everybody's like, yeah, word. What the fuck were the selling factors?
Dude, I don't know. Like, especially the thing about Whitey Tighties too that gets me was on the inner seam on the thigh is where it
Yeah,
like was sewn together, right? On that
yeah,
elastic. And
yeah,
so, especially when they weren't even, bro, because I had my thighs were massive. So I chafed pretty much when I wore anything because my thighs were always rubbing against each other.
yeah.
But
We're built similar, same thing.
yeah, so when that little sew knot on the elastic was a little bit lower than the other one, the
Right.
chafing was even worse. It was literal two lines of redness, right? But the other thing is with the few times that I did wear them, uh immediate just I would put pants on or shorts on and just feel naked underneath.
Well, I don't think it's so, yes, I agree. I agree. There's a lot of uncomfortability. Oh. Um, However, I would say the worst part about all of it is not the naked feeling when you have clothing on, it's the discomfort of the knots, right? Anywhere there's a seam, that's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Anywhere there's a seam, fuck, bro. It's amplified because there's very little seams. Maybe that's the benefit of boxer briefs. Maybe that's the benefit of any other undergarment is the fact that they're not amplified by the fact that there's very little fabric and you feel every knot. Um,
Mhm.
so that's one thing. The other thing is like I, this is going to be very weird, but like I don't want to feel my clothing on me,
Hmm.
and underwear make that terrible. Back to your point of like you feel naked, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to feel my shorts on me. I don't want to feel my jeans on the inner side of like my
Yeah, dude, that's
thighs.
what
I
I'm
don't want to feel that.
saying.
Yeah, it's
It's just
fucking
like a
weird.
free balling feeling, you know what I mean? Like that should only happen when I accidentally rip it in
Well,
in public, you know, and I gotta get home without them.
and honestly, if I'm sending it and I'm gonna be just out there dangling, raw dogging it, if you will, that's fine. But I don't want to do that with clothing on. That's unfair.
Yeah,
I've got a garment and I still feel like that? No, no, no. That's not how I
right.
do that.
Yeah, it's like it's the same reason that the swim trunks with the underwear lining inside of them are horrible. Never understood the point of those. At never
Unle-
once.
Unless you commit. That's the thing. Like there's no form of man clothing where you can commit to like okay, so say you got a pair of pants on, right? A pair of like real thick, manly Wrangler tight starch jeans for those of us in Texas. There's no equivalent to the mech. Okay. You got to have something else on. But In a bathing suit, if you commit to the mesh or you commit to the liner, that's fine. However, if you have anything else on and the mesh, fuck your life. That's a terrible experience and it's a terrible all the way around. You're not doing justice to the system, you're not doing justice to anything else.
So is that what the point of the mesh was, to make it to where you didn't have to wear underwear? Is that the whole point?
Yeah, it's like a wicking thing, I think. Like now we have real high like not with cotton. Ooh, the burps are setting in. Oh man, they're coming. Not with cotton, but like the whole purpose of the mesh is like wicking, right? Like to get rid of the moisture, to get rid of the tightness of the cotton constriction. Sounds like a sounds like a terrible transformer snake.
I
But
was about to
the,
say.
the cotton constriction, right, is to get rid of that. That's what the mesh was for. But nowadays, I mean, dude, the underwear we have are wicking moisture better than any netting. The netting's just constrictive. Um, but that's what
Yeah,
its intent was originally. Like get rid of the moisture, make you be
I just
comfortable.
the first
Don't
thing
do
I would
underwear.
always do when I got a pair of swim trunks with the mesh was cut them out immediately.
I wouldn't cut it. I would just snip it right in the crotch so it became like this leotard that no one cared about, like a flappy leotard. Like
So you
he might he might want to do a dance number, but he also might not want.
so you also cut it. You just didn't cut it out, but it
Oh
was
no, I
not
just
serving its purpose.
no, I just snipped it right at the crotch
So
so that
then you
it would
just had the
retain moisture. Yeah, it would retain moisture like any other piece of clothing, and it became just as inconvenient.
why not just cut it all the way out, man?
Well, that's dedication, bro. That's dedication. Like those that grow. Also, I think we're gonna back up a little bit, and it's gonna be uncomfortable for a certain volume of audience that probably doesn't listen anyway. But um, I think Whitey Tighties are generational. You know,
What do you mean? Like,
I think like I can't think of a certain group of individuals my age or even 10 years older. Yeah. Nah. Yeah, 10 years older that are wearing whitey tighties.
I mean, yeah, I can agree.
Yeah. So what is it like for us, we are like boxer briefs, I don't know who's raw, like who's doing like dude, the sense of like look, I want some security, okay? So that's why I'm a boxer brief kind of guy. I Here's the other thing too. People are like, "Oh, sleep naked," like, live your no. No. That's not a lifestyle I want. I want like tight, constrictive, firm
But
boxer briefs.
but airy.
Boxer briefs. But airy. Deep leg, constrictive, structure-wise, that's what I'm sleeping in. And there's people that are like out there living their life willy-nilly in boxers, that whatever. All right. So there's that. But what was driving the generation 10 years older than us to whitey tighty it?
Well,
I don't understand.
was there? I don't know if boxer briefs existed in that their childhood.
Okay,
But
maybe,
my
but
question is, why have they not adopted? Why do they continue?
well, that's a good point. That's a good point. They should. They should. They've
Yeah.
never been known. They've never been taught the fault of their
Like,
ways.
yeah, like
Um,
what do you like when you see it in the right? Because you go down the underwear aisle and you're looking for your underwear. You see all the like images on the front, and what makes you look at those and say, "Man, that doesn't look more comfortable." You know what I
well, the
mean?
issue. So basically, you're calling attention to the lack of education. We just need to educate the masses on. Listen, I know you know what you know, and that's fine, and you're okay with that's great. But there's a better life out there, and that life entails
Boxer
unshaped
briefs.
thighs, drier undercarriage, a better ability to function as a human being, maybe your attitude gets a little better. I could only assume. I don't know how these people are interacting with other human beings, but I can guarantee you, if I didn't have the struggles of chafe and a bunched up crotch, I'd probably be a happier human being. It's better for society overall. I digress. In regards to that, I'm not going down that pathway. All I'm saying is that they should probably adopt it, but I want to know what triggered it. Was there no other option? They just gave up? Like, that was more than today. Think about this. Today, we want to fight about all these stupid things like, oh, we want this or we want that or we want to, like, they're all fake fucking battles. Back then, they were fighting for real things. One of them could have been underwear, and they didn't do it. You know what I mean?
Well, so boxer briefs were not invented until 1990.
Really?
Yeah. So
That is alarming.
there was obviously somebody that was fighting and trying to make the world a better place, and they did in 1990
That's
by
fine, but like, there's so many generations that were already like. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, obviously, I came around long after 1990. I love my boxer briefs. If a new technology came on that was like, "Hey, we're gonna run them down to your fucking ankles, and that's what we want to do," whatever. Like, I'm not sure I would adopt that. So,
well,
what
something like
converts?
something like that I wouldn't adopt. But like
Okay, okay, but how blasphemous or crazy is that in the face of what we understand as good
okay,
underwear
well, four
versus
inches
what
is a
versus
little bit
ah,
easier to adopt than 3 feet.
is it though?
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
think it is. I think it
Think
is.
about it. One revolution doesn't taste like the other. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I mean, I gotta believe. I gotta believe that the boxer brief was invented because somebody all they had was long johns, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, "Dude, it's 90 degrees outside. I cannot wear these long johns." And then he thought, "I'm gonna cut them off like mid thigh and rock them and see what happens." And he did, and he was like, "This is the best experience I've ever had in my life."
Yes, I will support that. However, for one day, 'cause you
Yeah,
and
and
I
then it
both
frayed.
know.
They frayed.
Then they
Yeah,
got real loosey goosey at the bottom, and then they bunched up right in the crotch, right in the
he,
ass area, and they were like, "I might as well be in wearing whitey tighties. It's fucking miserable."
yeah, he
Right?
did. He forgot to burn the edges so they wouldn't fray.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. That's
Um,
what happened. I That's the only thing I can imagine happening like that.
dude,
The
I'm
only way I can
so
imagine it happening.
I just don't. I'm so glad that only for a couple of years that I have to live in a world without boxer briefs. Like, I only existed a few years outside of the existence of boxer briefs. And for any generation, this is a call, dude. Leave the comments, hit us up, contact me directly. I'll give you my number.
Yeah,
For anyone that's
I never
for
lived
any,
in a world without boxer briefs. That makes me very happy.
yeah, I mean, for anyone that's still going through it, they're like, hey, I'm not, I'm not saying it's not gay marriage or whatever. Oh, that's a little extreme. It's not like something crazy. It's like, look, you wanna convert to some different underwear. We got a helpline for you. We'll walk you through. We
Yeah.
know
The sad
what's
part is
good,
that
what's bad.
neither of those should be super crazy topics to discuss anyways, but some people are probably very religious about their underwear,
Oh,
and what they
100%.
and I don't
Listen, I'm gonna be honest with
understand.
you. There's a lot of people out there that are like, we don't care about any of the other elements. Social, I don't care. Do what you want to do. But changing my underwear, motherfucker, I'll die. You know what I mean?
I will not ever try different underwear. Yeah.
I
So
would like to know. We're not going crazy, but I would like to know the benefit. Is there any there's a proven fact that you should have some you should have some support, okay? This is
yeah,
proven. This is scientific. You should have some support. Whether it's
which is
whitey tighties,
which is what throws me
whether
from
it's
boxers.
yeah, exactly. That's the downfall to boxers. Not a good thing. You need a certain volume of support. However, I would love to see the stats on boxer brief boxer briefs versus whitey tighties. Is there a benefit? That's a good PowerPoint presentation. It could be 5 slides. I don't know what the fuck it makes up, but like, are they good? Are they not? Constrictive, conservative, beneficial? 5 slides. Boom. They could lay it out, you know?
The Whitey Tighty's got to be too constrictive. In fact, I believe that people who are struggling to have children, like men that are struggling to have children, I believe that the doctors tell them to switch from Whitey Tighties to boxer briefs.
Bro, you
I'm
say
pretty
that, but like
sure somebody has told me
also
that.
I'm pretty sure that the population didn't suffer from the fucking 60s to now, you know? It might be it's not getting any better. That's the problem. We
Let's
don't even we don't even have any stats that support boxer briefs. Like they were doing pretty good. Maybe they were just reckless, you know, and
well,
abandoned, like didn't even care or
let's be
whatever from
let's
like
be
the
a little
60s to
fair
now,
though.
but
Let's be a little fair though. The same people that are wearing Whitey Tighties are probably only wearing Whitey Tighties to work, and outside of the house, everywhere else, they're not wearing underwear, bro.
that's a very good point.
You know?
So they're keeping their accounts up, but also just living life. That's a good chance. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh man, it's just not a world I want to live in, man. We need
I
to
don't know why we.
abolish them. If
I
I
don't know
ever
why we
become
went on.
president, it's the first thing I'm doing. I'm
Yeah, look,
criminalizing Whitey Tighties.
no one wants to be a racist. No one wants to discriminate. However, if there was a group of people, I'd be like, look, you're not good with computers. Okay, you're older. You need readers. That's fine. You don't understand technology. Whatever. There's a 1000% chance you're wearing whitey tighties, and guess what? That's not okay.
Yeah.
You can listen, you can hate technology, you can hate computers, you can cuss the world, but give up on the undergarments. How we progress as a society is determined upon what you're wrapping your rear end and your genitals in. That's very important, very
It'd be
important.
a very inappropriate question to ask in this specific scenario, but in a job interview, you know,
Mhm.
you that should be something. You know, where did you go to school? What's your experience? What kind of underwear do you wear?
Bro,
And
I
if
don't
it's
care
whitey
about your
tidies, I don't care if you got face tattoos. Quite personally, I don't. I mean, in general, but if you're doing the work, I don't care, right? But you got face tats all over, dude. Hell yeah. I don't care. Come on in. Oh, you wear whitey tidies though? That makes me a little uncomfortable in the office. I'm not gonna lie.
Obviously, based on what we just said about like procreation and the fact that like, hey, it's constrictive, it doesn't necessarily help. I mean, I'm not saying everybody has to have kids. All I'm saying is that if we want to discriminate, the next volume of discrimination should be whitey tighties. I don't give a shit what you are race wise. I don't know what you're capable of. I don't give a shit about like your sexual preference, like lesbian, gay, whatever. Nobody cares. Zero people care about anything. But you know what's unacceptable? Like, by the way, you can be like of some crazy religion. You can discriminate against a whole group of people. That's fine. But God forbid you wear whitey tighties. That's not acceptable any longer. I think as a civilization, we should just draw a line right here
I agree. We need to make it happen. In fact, if
and
you're
split up.
seeing this clip, if this is a clip anywhere at some point, or if you're listening to this episode and you yourself wear whitey tighties, it's not too late. Just try the briefs, man. We promise it's going to change your life, and then you'll be welcome back in society.
That's completely fine, but I would also charge you with questioning all the decisions you've made in life. If you've come this far and you're still wearing whitey tighties, there's a fucking problem with the way that you interpret the world. That's a problem. Like,
And
no one's gonna judge you. That's fine moving forward. But good Lord, how many bad decisions have you made come this far? That's my opinion. I don't want to get too
what
deep. I just
what what have you done in the past? I need to know the other decisions that you've made.
listen. I would tell you this, like, there's a good chance, like, case in point, I watch a lot of YouTube videos. I watch a lot of cold case files, forensic files. Not a single human being that's killing people is doing it in boxer briefs. Let's be honest. Every fucking time they find somebody that's like raping corpses out in the field, they're wearing whitey tighties. So if we can eliminate that problem, I'm not saying it goes away with the, like it does away with the whole concept, but it'll help, you know?
There's got to be some kind of frustration in the whitey tighties that's causing these
I'm
crimes.
sick of life living this way uncomfortably. I'm gonna go kill a ridiculous volume of human beings and bury them out in the wilderness. And those people that are wearing like what boxer briefs are like, yeah, eat me a Freddy's burger, pass out. You know, that's the difference.
Get me a milkshake, bro. That's what I'm gonna go do.
By, by the way, we're not trying to judge anyone. We're just saying there's hope for you. We can help you. I don't know if we have a hotline or something like that, but you could call it. We'll get you converted to some relevant drawers. That's
It's
all we're talking about.
1-800-X whitey tighties.
Hey, we just want to help in the ball region. That's it.
Okay. Oh man. I don't know. I don't know if I want to necessarily help in the ball region, but
Bro,
comfortability overall.
I don't really want to help either, but if it's preventing crime, I'm in.
Oh, I guess, man. Oh God, that was a. I we've gone down some rabbit holes before.
That was deep. I know I
That
normally call it I normally call attention to it, but I think I just talked about underwear for like an hour.
we
So
did.
for all you guys that I'm like rabbit hole and we fucked it this week. But yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh my gosh. We had a couple more things we wanted to get to, but I don't really think we have time. Quite honestly.
Irrelevant. We're WWYBDing and launch. You're up.
Yeah. Oh man. Mm,
You want me to go first?
yeah, I do.
Mine's very brief, so it's not going to give you much
Pun
relief.
intended? Was that pun unintended or pun intended?
I didn't even connect the two together, but it's very brief. It's very constricting. It's very narrow-minded. It's going to be uncomfortable for a lot of people. And honestly, I'd hate to admit that it's the way that I live my life. No. Um, my WWYBD, again, is one sentence, and it speaks for itself. It's, like I said, it's as uncomfortable as a pair of briefs. I'm drinking this beer if I'm building a fence in a pasture.
Mm, okay.
That's it. Doesn't matter if it's like an upright fence, doesn't matter if it's barbed wire and we're pulling it over a period of time, I'm working wire, whatever. I'm building a fence in a pasture. I'm drinking this beer. Based on taste, based on brand, ooh, I'm in the club. I'm living my life. I got some real classy craft taste with a fancy can. The bitches are rolling up, and I'm like, hey, that's what's up. I'm not wearing whitey ties. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
But
But if you're ever in the club, don't say that though.
well, I mean, sometimes you gotta lay it out. You gotta lay it out. Like they might be approaching you. Hey, what's up? You doing whitey tidies? And that's the differentiator. So you gotta be real stout with that. But um, based on taste, I'm building a fence in a pasture.
Okay, I can see it.
Okay.
I can see it. I think for me, the WWYBD would be I'm golfing with these things, man. I'm out with the boys. We're golf carting, 100%. There's been times in my life where I've walked, right, for the health aspect of it. Now, those times were when I was in high school and I was very poor and I couldn't rent a golf cart, but it's also good for your health. But no, we're in a golf cart and we're running it down, bro. We're racing each other to the balls and whatnot like you'd normally do. Throwing down some of these bad boys, definitely 100% shooting like 40 over on a good day, you know. I mean, I was never great at golf, so I
40
enjoyed
seems a
playing though.
little aggressive. Seems a little aggressive.
I mean, in 18 holes,
40?
I mean, there's a lot of days where especially when you're slamming some brewskis, your shot starts getting off, man. You start slicing a lot.
I'll
At
be
least for
honest with
me.
you. I'm as familiar of keeping score of golf as I am with wearing Whitey Tighties. So I don't like to tie myself down. I don't like to constrict what I got going on. I like to just live my dream.
No, I respect you. I respect that opinion. But no, man. I mean, yeah, 40 over is not good by any means, but you're talking about that's like a 110-ish score. If par's
Okay.
72,
Okay.
a lot of people really push to break 100, so, unless I'm playing every day, which I wasn't. But that's cool, whatever, you can just call me out. No big deal.
No, no, that's fine.
No big deal, man. All right, we got to get into these ratings now though.
Hit it first.
All right, you want me to go first, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, now this is a difficult one for me because it is a lager, right? And I don't know. It doesn't compare very well to other lagers for me because of the bitterness and stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I'm sorry, I have to call that out. Like I was very yeah, we talked about this at the very beginning. It's very aggressive for a lager, but continue.
Yeah, it is. But it tastes so good. Like I love it so much. Um, so any numbers that seem high or low, you're just gonna have to bear with me on this one. But on entry, I'm starting with a 5, man. Out the gate, it goes in nice. It's crisp and clean. Living to its name of crispy business. I like that. The aftertaste, I'm gonna keep it at a 5. Quite honestly, um, it's it's just nice. It finishes nice. Everything about it. The body, I have it at a 5 again. I enjoy the flavor. It's not like other lagers for me, but I enjoy it so much. The color I did give a 3 to because it was a little hazy for my liking and its appearance being a lager and whatnot. But bitterness a 3 as well, but not to a fault. It's delicious. It's just bitter for a lager. Um, Acidity, I have it a 4. It's pretty much right on par in that department. And then fizz, I have it a 5. Everything about the burps and everything was great for me. They started quick. They stayed here. Um, and they were enjoyable throughout the entire experience. Now, the first 3, my entry, my aftertaste, and my body can drop if you want to try to compare it straight to a lager, but I just couldn't do that because I enjoyed it too much. I had to give it a good score, and so my total is a 30 for this.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really really enjoy this, and in fact, I wish more lagers tasted like this. If I'm being honest with you.
Wow, that was not what I was expecting, only because of like your previous comments. Not necessarily your rating, but your previous comments. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna take that into consideration only because like I have what I predetermined for this, but that's bold. Like it. I
yeah,
like the fact that you respect. I respect it. Right.
yeah. I know some of the things I said are conflicting with everything, but it's just how I felt when I went through the scores there, and I couldn't stay away from that thought. So
All right. So not a bad beer. But on entry, I have a 3. Run of the Run of the mill. Oh, look, listen to the burps. Hold on. Let me adjust my score a little bit. And all right. So, entry is a 3. I don't think it set me on fire one way or the other. I think it finished a little stronger, so I'll give it a 4. In a good way. I don't know if it follows like a lager situation, which you've exhaustively communicated, but nonetheless, 4. Body, I have a 3. Right there in the middle. Color, I have a 2. Very weak.
It was
For me.
pretty hazy.
Yep. Very weak. Bitterness, I have a 3. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being middle of the road, dude. 3's all the way down the mark. That's, dude, you're hitting it. Acidity, I have a 3. Fizz, I had a 4. Like, so they started out good and then they crept in later and now they're resurging, but now I have a 5. However, all the way along, if you total everything up, I only have a 21. Not a bad score. A
No.
solid beer. It's a really good tasting. I would tell you this, for the look of the can, even though we respect it, it's great. We're the nostalgia, we're living it, the branding, that's great. Lot more approachable punch and flavor than what you think you're going to get out of this can.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. I'll give you that. Also, I should point out that I'm pretty sure I myself enjoy IPAs more than you do. They're not my favorite beer by any means, but I do enjoy them more than you enjoy them.
That yes, I would agree with that. However, even though my score seems lower number, this is a good beer for the middle of the road. Like you like IPAs, I'm not a big IPA fan. I like
Yes.
this though. Like it's a good. I'm not gonna say it's a
Exactly.
gateway. I'm not gonna say it's a melder. I'm like we tell a lot of people like, oh, start out with this if you're gonna do this. Isn't I'm not gonna say that, but like, oh man, this is middle of the road for people that love IPAs. They love flavor. Oh, but they want to dabble with something else. Like fucking dive in. And for people that don't like IPAs but want some craft experience, oh, this is the this is a gateway. It's
It
great.
is. It is. I agree that, and that's what I was gonna say. So
Yeah. Sorry.
no, I mean that's fine. Because I enjoy IPAs more, and I think it is a good stepping stone if you want to get an idea of what an IPA would taste like. Now, obviously, an IPA is a lot stronger than this flavor, but
Yeah.
you get that little taste of hoppiness. So if you enjoy that, but maybe want something a little bit less hoppy than a standard IPA, this is definitely something to give a try, in my opinion. Um,
An I an IP an IPA without the risk.
yeah, there you
Right.
go. All right. Well, it is that point in the podcast where I'm going to tell you to go follow us on social media on Twitter and TikTok at Off the Tap Pod, and on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Off the Tap Podcast.
And as always, I'll leave you with this little rhyme. It's the 80s for all it's worth. Worth a lot, I suppose. The making of miracles, the taking of many. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. The beer prevails as that of safe sex, for whom we're thankful caught on. Colors more along all. Golf, straw, the threads of a constrictive scrotum love. I would buy again and hope you explore the thrill of a lustrous hooker style. Give back in color of terrible decisions and successful procreation.